Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. We're starting a little later than usual, but we had a good topic to talk about. I had a long talk with my dear co-host, and a topic was brought up that's near and dear to my heart. It's the reason why I'm here. Reason why I'm on X. Years ago, at an unnamed historical black college, I had a mentor. You see, the United States Air Force made me Air Force RTC made me a liaison at the historical black college I worked at. For the kids at this student. High honor. Um, and I mentored a couple of foundational Black American students, one of which was a genius. I mean, this girl, she played, I'm not going to say her name, but she played volleyball, had damn near 4.0, was adorable, was engaged to a very handsome, motivated young man in the Army. Just, perfect little kid, right? She wanted to be a doctor. Um, and I walked her through the process of what she needed to do, the prerequisites, and she got less than satisfactory grade in chemistry, which is a key class for prerequisites for medicine. And I, as her advocate, looked into it and found out that this professor from the diaspora, he's from Africa, uh, told me to my face, as colleague, as his fellow professor, only five people in my class get A's. I don't give out more than five A's, which I think should be illegal. But anyway, that got my eyebrow raised, and I start wondering who was being sent to allowed to go to medical school at this particular college. And damn near 95% of the students who went to medical school and dental school and schools of engineering, but medical medicine and dentistry, were from the diaspora. Foundational Black American students were not kind of gate kept out of medicine, gate kept out of dentistry. Well, that cost me my job because in a faculty meeting I stood up. This same professor just bragged on how stupid foundational Black American students were. He said, I'm paraphrasing him, he said something like, 85% of my students failed my class. What's wrong with them? My black students can't pass my class. I stood up and said, if 85% of your students fail your class, if 25% of your students fail your class, it's on them. But if 85% of your students fail your class, you need to resign and leave the school and go back home. And I got a pink slip shortly thereafter. So the question is, why are members of the diaspora coming into historically black colleges and taking or coming to America and taking up slots at our school that our kids desperately need? Ladies and gentlemen, this is not xenophobic. This is real. Foundational Black America, we need doctors. We need engineers. It's time out for fucking entertainers. Time out. Now I got a full scholarship in fine arts undergrad. I get it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but it's time out for music. It's time out for entertainment. We need, like Dr. John Henry Clark said, we need the hard sciences. So the question is, why do Africans leave Africa? They got African medical schools. I spent a summer in Ghana, and I saw a very beautiful, I think it's University of Ghana School of Medicine. I don't think one foundational Black American student was there. I also saw University of Ghana School of Law. They got law schools. Why they come over here to study? And lastly, do foundational Black Americans go and get African degrees? I kind of already answered that, but we're going to pick it back on that. Wani, why do Africans leave Africa for school?
I don't know. Sometimes they say that their schools aren't accredited properly, so maybe they don't want to go to a school that has no respect and no accreditation. They rather just get out of there and learn the right way. And that's one of the questions that I was asking earlier. I said, when a person comes here from China, they come from a solid foundation. Chinese have had a certain, way of doing things, a foundation of education, a spirituality, a spiritual system, numbers, letters, writing, literature. And so when they leave China, they're coming from a foundation of literacy, and it's a very strong foundation. And most people do have one, but the West Africans, they don't. It's like, what are you, like, what's your base culture? We can see culture in in East Africa. They have a writing system. They have a long history. They have recordings of things that they've done, texts, spiritual systems, the Abrahamic religions. But when we go to the West, we don't really see this foundation. And I think that has a lot to do with the way that they act when they get here. There's a lot of corruption in most of these countries and cultures. And so, with them wanting to fail Black Americans, we're always on the forefront of these trends. So now you see that they're failing white people, and they always start by abusing us and making us fight and complain. And then, of course, the white people go, oh, no one's doing anything to you. They can't be, I mean, I was told they can't be racist because they're Indian. They can't be racist because no, they can be ethnic bigots. I was told that a person of color, this is a white person's perspective, and he was honest about it. And from his perspective, he couldn't even conceive, get this, could not conceive that a brown Indian person or an African person could be wishing ill will on me. So I couldn't even complain about them doing things because they were like, oh no, you're all darkies. So you just go do darky things. Let us know when a white person does something to you because we can't help. So I think that this whole situation is really shaking up um, white people because they can see that they're being erased, marginalized, lied on, told that they don't deserve jobs. And we've been saying this so we can sit back in the I told you so position on the couch.
I've said this many times before. Thank you, Wani. We serve as the canary in the coal mine. Back in the day, for those of you too young to catch that reference, uh, to uh, coal mines have deep down. Sometimes you can have a pocket of natural gas, methane, that seeps out, and it's deadly because it replaces the oxygen in the air, and you die of asphyxia. But it to test methane levels before, and toxic gas levels before, and lack of oxygen before we had sophisticated equipment. The coal miners used to take a canary down there, and the canary with those little bitty lungs would be the first to die because it was more sensitive than big old human lungs. Um, uh, Black Americans have served metaphorically as a canary in the coal mine for so many different things. And Wani is so right. We've been erased in so many ways from our own fucking schools, our own schools of law, own schools of medicine, own schools of engineering, the few we have, and replaced with other, diaspora. With I was looking at Howard School of Medicine one year, and there was a bunch of Eastern Indians on the medical school admitted to that. I'm like, why? Wait a minute. Do people not know that the historical black colleges were created to help with the gap? Like they were created with a purpose. Now Howard and Hampton got a little different history, but moreover, in general, historically black colleges were created to close the a gap between foundational Black Americans and white America, right? But when it's a career that yields money or prestige, all that goes out the window. My alma mater has a school of physical therapy, a historically black college, and my last year in undergrad, my school of physical therapy was full of white kids. And it was hard as hell to get in that school. It's a doctor of physical therapy. It's hard as hell for us to get. Like don't even bother applying. You're not getting in there. You know, how's this happening? But anyway, Wani was correct. We served as a canary of the coal mine, and lately this is happening to white Americans. And white Americans are being froze out of jobs in tech. Somebody was telling me white Americans with degrees in computer science and engineering cannot find jobs or cannot secure employment in the tech sector because is it true, Wani, that Eastern
Mhm.
Indians are dominant? Could you educate us on that?
Yeah, they're dominating those fields and they're racist. They're bitter racist and it's built into their DNA just like it's dyed in the wool. They don't even see that they're discriminating. The nepotism is part of their whole genetic makeup at this point. They've been doing it so long, they don't even have the ability to understand that it is a form of tribalism in a sense because we see the same behavior with the Africans. They don't mind hiring their own group, and all of these people will hire specific caste, and those castes are not white or black. So they don't mind doing that. They don't mind being um uh, doing nepotism where we have been uh like we have been instructed with our culture to not do nepotism and to be ethical. Now I know that it's not so much now, but in my generation that was very popular to be ethical. Don't do nepotism on your job. You have to hire different people. How would it look if I had a job in an insurance company and a lot of people came to apply for the job and I just picked, fun black ladies that I want to hang out with in the lunchroom.
They would fire you
They
and you would
would
get
look,
sued.
they would look at me like I was crazy if I and all the women were like my type of lady that I would be wanting to hang out with. Well, they get to do that. They're all Sikh Indians with turbans on running FedEx, and no one else gets to apply. So they get to do things that we can't do. White guys, Chad can't just hire a bunch of blonde guys with the same suit on that he's got on. He can't hire a bunch of blonde hair, blue eyed. We people would notice that immediately. They'd be like, all these guys look like Chad. People would complain immediately. And same thing for me. I couldn't just hire black ladies I want to hang out with and drink coffee with on lunch break. And honestly, when I was younger and I had those types of jobs, there was like one other black girl that I would hang out with. Everybody else was different. So I've never experienced working anywhere with a whole bunch of people like me, like they're getting to do. They're literally saying, hey, you have to be a native uh, Spanish speaker. That means you have to be from a Spanish speaking country. So they get to hire each other and use the language to exclude everyone else. They get to say, "Oh, well, I don't even know what excuse they're using for the Sikh Indians with the turbans on. What excuse are they using for them? You can only be what? Sikh Indian? I'm like, I don't know. Are they what are they doing?" And they're saying that the reason behind it is that they work good as a group. They can communicate together, and they're like a unit that works together. But basically, they're just denying Americans jobs. There's just a story about McDonald's hiring a whole bunch of non-Americans, firing all the Americans and hiring all these foreigners on visas. And they're really just trying to do this to us. I mean, it's funny. I see all these people mentioning other types of visas now. Okay, you don't like that one? Let's change the name. Maybe if we bring the immigrants in on their head, how about if they cartwheel in? How about if we put them in a red bus? Do you like them then? I mean, it's like I've never seen anything this stupid. We voted for to get them out of here. We didn't vote for legal ones to come in. We don't want any to come in. We don't want anything in. Train Americans to do the jobs. We can do anything. We did quite fine from I'll use the time frames, the 20s to the 50s. We did very well without all these immigrants.
Well, a big part of this problem came from NAFTA, um, which was architected or designed and implemented by Bill Clinton. Professor Noam Chomsky says something very interesting about this issue she's talking about. Basically, Chomsky's kind of hard to follow, which is why I don't really quote him much in my spaces. But basically, Chomsky is very brilliant. He says that the problem, and this is a big duh to everybody in the room, is corporate greed. So during the 1990s, Bill Clinton said, "I'm gonna pass this law that's gonna help us and bring more jobs back to America." So he passed. He got NAFTA passed, and what did NAFTA do? NAFTA took uh the jobs, the factory jobs, all the blue collar, dignified blue collar jobs. Those of you my age and older, I'm an '80s baby. Can probably I can barely remember going to Walmart and Kmart in the toy aisle, and what did the toys say on them? Made in America. Remember that, y'all? Well, Bill Clinton got rid of that shit because corporations took those jobs. We had uncles and shit working in the factories making $60,000 a year, supporting family. Wife didn't have to work, 2 cars at home, the babies went to college, and daddy didn't finish high school. That's how it worked. I'm from Alabama. A lot of them worked in Motown in Detroit, working at the motor plant, making 100,000 a year without a high school diploma. You understand? They had dignity. Every human being deserves dignity. Bill Clinton took all that shit away. Why? Because of corporations. According to Professor Noam Chomsky, and actually I learned this in law school, corporations are considered a person. What type of fucking sense does that make? A corporation is not a person? And Chomsky says that corporations have more rights than people. In Requiem for the American Dream, on page 98, Dr. Chomsky says corporations are state created legal fictions. Let me say that shit one more time. Dr. Chomsky says, quote, corporations are state created legal fictions. Maybe they're good, maybe they're bad, but to call them persons is kind of outrageous. For example, take the so called free trade agreements, say NAFTA. They gave corporations way beyond the rights persons have. So these persons, called corporations, uh, basically under NAFTA, said, we don't want to pay American real people 60 grand. No, no, no. God forbid these black people get dignity and a living wage. No, we're not paying them that. We're going to take the same plant and throw it in Mexico and pay these folk 20 grand, which they're going to be happy to get. Guess what? The corporations, these fictitious fake people, get to pocket $40,000. It's all a money grab. Greed is going to destroy this goddamn country. And I feel like the shit's burning to the ground. What did they say? What did Nero say? That when Rome burned to the ground, was it Caligula? Was it Nero or Caligula? So, historian, somebody help me out. When Rome burned to the ground, somebody was just sitting up there playing a fiddle, wasn't it? That's what's
I
going on.
forget. That
I
sounds
can't.
familiar.
I can't. It was either Caligula or Nero, like one of the emperors. When this
Mm.
shit was burned to the ground, they just.
Um,
It may have been Nero. When it's burned to the ground, they sat up just playing a fiddle, like, oh, that's the way it is. That's what's going on in America. This shit's burning to the ground. People are struggling like a motherfucker. I'm in. Basically, I looked at my salary. I'm kind of like an elite status for black males in America. I don't feel that way, and I'm struggling. If I'm struggling, how in the fuck are people paying bills around this motherfucker? But I digress. Um, Back to the point of the matter, Dr. Trump. Go ahead, Wani.
oh no, I thought you were finished.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. Go ahead.
These companies are very devious because they started where they said, oh, this one company would have foreign customer service and you'd be irritated. You'd try to get some help with your printer, like your HP printer, and it would be foreign. And so you get mad and you go, the next time I buy a printer, I'm going to get an Epson printer. And then you get the Epson printer and you realize that, hey, now they all have it. And it was one by one. It wasn't all at the same time. Very, very devious the way that they did it. So what these companies do is that they do something you don't like. Now they're all in the banks and all that. They're all over the place, mumbling about your money. You can't even get a straight answer. You can't even get clear customer service if you have a problem with your credit card or with your bank account. You've got to deal with their accent. And now they've changed it to where if you complain about the accent, you're being racist. You see, um, they're very slow and methodical about it. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse. It started with one, and then what they do is they know they're doing something you don't like, right? So they all do it. So you don't have a choice. So I can't go run and go get a HP printer or boycott them and get a Epson printer or say, no, I'm going to get a Canon printer. They all agree to screw us. And so that we don't have anything to say. And if we complain and say, let me speak to it, because I used to do that, let me speak to an American customer service agent. Oh, no, we don't do that anymore. We don't have one. And then if you say, well, I don't understand your accent, you're racist. Okay. Well, you don't speak clear English. Yes, I do. No, you don't. This is just like, I don't know what they're trying to do to us, but everything they're doing to us, they're all agreeing to do it together. I don't know how we got on this topic.
We went from how corporations are responsible for basically screwing us over, and how African like how why are allowed to come over here and study. Like there should be checks and balances in play. But I'm a vibe with it just a little bit longer because I wanted to identify that, like Dr. Noam Chomsky said, corporations are considered a person, like literally. And Dr. Chomsky identifies that there's a ruling called Buckley versus Vallejo in 1976 that basically said, so, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have under the First Amendment? We have freedom of speech, right? This shit gonna piss y'all off. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression. So, Dr. Chomsky outlines that in Buckley versus Vallejo, corporations where it was decided that since a corporation is a person, that I almost like gag a little bit saying that. That's like stupid. um, since a corporation is a person that has freedom of speech, and how the corporations speak, they spend money. Does that make any sense to you? Dr. Chomsky says it's very interesting to read the rulings like Justice Kennedy's swing vote. His ruling said, well, look after the all CBS is given the freedom of speech. CBS, a corporation, given the freedom of speech. They're a corporation. Why shouldn't general election be free to spend as much money as they want? So basically corporations were like what Wani was talking about. Corporations, since they're considered a person, have the First Amendment right of freedom of speech. How do corporations speak? They spend money. So basically, corporations can spend money whatever the fuck they want to. They can spend money with Mexicans in Mexico, or Vietnamese in Vietnam, or Chinese, like with our iPhone, in China, and just fuck over American citizens. Basically, in brief, in one liner, Chomsky argues that corporations have more rights as a person than we do, and we're actual people. But I digress. Wani, do FBAs get African degrees? Do we run to Ghana to get medical degrees?
Nope, and we wouldn't be allowed to. When I
Hello.
was when I was not aware of delineation movement, I knew that we were not African, obviously. But some people, I can't say obviously, because some people in this country on certain coast do not understand that they are Black American. They think they're regular blacks, and they think South Americans are black, and they think Indian ladies running for the presidency are black. Everybody's black to this particular group for some reason. They got a combination of Pan Africanism and Hebrew Israelitism, which makes them include random people that don't have anything to do with it. So this is why they really can't recover from it, because of the Hebrew Israelite beliefs. So they're done. That's like trying to get someone to stop being their religion. I can't expect anything from them. But what were we talking about?
Yeah, FBA is getting African degrees. Ladies and
Nope.
gentlemen, those of you that don't know me, I spent a good portion of summer 2023 in Ghana. We went on a tour of the whole country, really. Went with some dignitaries. Really blessed that that happened to me. But one of our objectives was to help build a library. Another objective was to help build a school in two different neighborhoods. Well, when we were downtown Accra, we kind of stopped by the University of Ghana School of Medicine, which looks really wonderful. Type in Google University of Ghana School of Medicine. It looks just about as almost as nice as an American school. But I was shocked to see that there were no foundational Black American students there. Likewise, we saw a University of Ghana School of Law. They have a really nice looking law school. No FBAs. Well, that kind of pissed me off because as a professor, the historical Black college I was at last year, no shit, had about, it was almost damn near 40% diasporic students. It was a large portion of kids from West Africa, some from South Africa, a handful from Jamaica and Barbados. Um, and these students were getting preferential treatment for degrees, like I mentioned earlier, the elite degree programs, MD, DMD, and almost like a pathway. Well, another thing that frustrated me with my little mentor from the Air Force ROTC program is she wanted to pledge. I almost want to say the name of that sorority. Maybe I shouldn't. She wanted to pledge a historically black sorority that y'all know very well. And do you know, she again came to my office crying because they didn't pick her. Who they picked was an African. And that's when I got on X. I was like, I need an explanation for this. How could a historically black sorority, which I'm told was created to uh, help foundational black women achieve equality through sisterhood? That's what I was told. And how dare they turn this young lady down? Excellent, play volleyball, damn near 4.0 in ROTC, going to serve in the military. How they turn her down and put in place a girl from Africa? How does that happen? Well,
In
go
America?
ahead.
In
Oh yeah.
America?
Oh yeah. In
Okay, that's what I thought you
Tennessee.
were saying.
Oh yeah, in Tennessee, my friend. What I later found out from a professor friend after they got rid of me is according to my professor friend who got fired as well for helping helping black American students is a big no-no. Don't do that. She proved to me, I have evidence of this, that at historically black colleges, students from the diaspora, particularly from West Africa, are not eligible for student loans. Therefore, they pay for tuition in cash. And we all know what you can do with cash money, right? We all understand that, right? Cash can go all kind of different ways. Y'all know what I'm saying? It's a money grab. Well, back to African schools. African schools of medicine, although they're not fully accredited in America. In Memphis, Tennessee, I met a handful of residents at Methodist Hospital. One resident was a hospitalist. Well, anyway, what I found out that pissed me off was at African medical schools, you are allowed to practice in America. You just have to kind of take a couple more courses. This one hospitalist resident I met said he got his medical degree in Africa, but when he came to the States, he had to kind of take a couple classes at University of Tennessee School of Medicine, just a couple classes here and there. And his residency program was a little bit more strenuous. He may have had to take the steps of the test, step one and step two, to become an MD. But that's not a bad deal. What I'm saying is these programs in Africa should have a certain amount of slots available for foundational black American kids. Don't y'all agree? Given the fact that so many African students are allowed to come here and get in our programs, why don't we have reciprocity in Africa? Why don't we see reciprocity? Wani, why didn't Africa give us reciprocity with anything? Or am I missing
No,
something?
no, they don't. They're just money grabs, scams, and they think everything is charity. They just expect um the international community to give them things. And they discriminate against the other tribes. That's another thing I was going to say. When I was before the delineation movement, probably 10 years before I know about it, I was speaking to a Nigerian guy, and he was saying that he couldn't get into these schools because I was helping his family with some microloan deal. He said that because of his tribe, he wasn't allowed to get into certain schools that were nearby him, and really couldn't go to higher education. Just it wasn't an option because of a preferential treatment toward a tribe that he did not belong to. So they discriminate against each other. And they definitely are not studying us. We would have to go over there and have our own school and go to it ourselves. I mean, when we go there, we're expected to, I guess, carve out a little Americaville for ourselves in these places because they're not, no, 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 they're not sharing. They just perceive us as having a lot and that they don't want to help us with anything or give us anything. Um, like you were discussing earlier, that they have programs that you could study there and it was a very quick medical program and then you could just go over here and do some brush up courses and try to get certified
Right.
as a doctor, and you said that might be a slick way to become a doctor very quickly.
Let me interject right quick and tell you why. In Africa, in West Africa, a medical degree is a bachelor's degree. That's a bachelor's degree. So imagine some of our students going over there, going to University of Ghana and getting that bachelor's in medicine, and then in just 4 fucking years, and then come back over here, they'll finish ahead of the game because medical school is 4 plus 4. That's 8 years. In Accra, medical degree is 4 years. Well, I'm 4 years medical degree and 4 years residency in America. So I'm saying 4 years medical degree. I mean, but no, 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 no. I said four in America, 4 years for a bachelor's degree, and then you got to go back another 4 years for a MD. That's 8 years. In Africa, it's 4 years for a medical degree. You 4 years ahead of the game. So who gives a fuck if you have to go back to school for a couple years? You're still ahead of the game. There should be a whole line of foundational Black American kids going to the University of Ghana every year. But go ahead and continue on it.
No, I was finished. I was basically noticing that they had the tribalism going on, and we are expected to bend over backwards, let them be the president of our clubs, but we can't be on that Nigerian club. We
Right.
can't be on the African student. It's like, what are you doing here? Why do you want to be on our club? But we're all over your clubs. And that's the environment that I was told. I don't go to a an HBCU, but I speak to people that do, younger people that do, that they're in their 20s, and they're saying that's the environment. They're saying they're being hit from all sides. They're saying that they have Haitians demanding to play Haitian music. No one knows what that is. At, um, during marching band performances, they say that they have, Africans wanting to be on all their clubs and being very stuck up and exclusive when it comes to their own things. So there we are. They're viewing us like we can be black, you can't be Nigerian. We can be black, but you can't be Brazilian. Why not? Well, of course, we can't be Brazilian because they have a huge amount of Portuguese admixture and a whole nother heritage, but apparently they can just be Black American because we don't exist according to them. We're the only, um, I'll say, ethnicity on earth that doesn't exist. And people can just come over here and just say us, but we can't go anywhere on the planet and claim that we're Nigerian. They look at us like we're nuts. I can't go to Ethiopia. There's nothing I can do in Ethiopia or Nigeria or China or Indonesia or anywhere. I can't go on an Aboriginal uh, piece of land over there that they occupy. I can't go places and be brown and be declared them. It's not a thing. But they come here and do it to us. Therefore, they're practicing massive ethnocide on us, gaslighting, and using all these things just to take our resources. We have to practice self preservation, and we need to find our survival instincts because we're going to end up just like white people. White people don't even know how to protect themselves anymore. They've been living on easy street so long. They've lost their survival instinct. You have to slap them upside the head just to get them to see that they don't have jobs. They literally just sit there talking
Yeah, yeah.
about
One,
I
we saw that real clear during the Trump. You remember the assassination attempt?
yeah,
Somebody busting with a fucking assault rifle, and everybody was like, they didn't know what to do.
right.
I was like, let that shit happen at a black event.
They literally will get these masters and these doctoral degrees and PhDs and then not be able to do something in their field, and they don't take it like it is. They'll just say, "Oh, I just can't get a job in my field or with my degree or up to my level of my degree." But they won't they're acting like it's just a thing. No, other people have your jobs.
Right.
And these are people that produce a glut of citizens. Basically, like I said, we have 6 billion people when you count up everybody in Africa and everybody in Asia that want to get out of there. They want out and they want to come here. That's 6 billion people that want to be in a place that has 300 million people here. 6 billion want to come to live where people have 300 million and 5 million jobs in tech. The math ain't mathin'. We don't have
Mm-mm.
enough jobs for these people in tech. We don't have enough jobs for these people in anything. We have 300 million people.
How
Okay?
about how
So
about
how can
this?
we give them jobs?
How about our responsibility is to our children?
It
That's where our
is.
responsibility is. Why are we trying to help somebody else before we help foundational Black American kids? Oh, and we just diss foundational Black American kids like they're trifling tramps, and we lock them up. That's what we do to our kids. Shame on us.
Now, who
Sotar,
is
what's
next?
go,
Who is next? We've
I
been
think it was Sotar.
dominating the stage.
No, I'm not
Okay,
next.
go.
It's the people under me. I'm not next. They were there
Oh,
first.
okay. Well, it was either Miss Stacy or Fire Nagy. Let's go with Miss Stacy.
Miss Stacy was actually first on the stage.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I
Okay.
was away from my mic.
go
Thanks.
ahead, Stacy. Good to see you.
Oh, thank you guys. Hey, so yeah, I'm just sitting here listening and there's just my brain is like it's just so much. I'm trying to like dissect what I want to say first without taking up too much time. But well, one of the things is, well, okay. So my son, his grandmother on his dad's side, I believe is from Ghana. And I remember me and him, I'm talking to him. And ever since I've been listening to these spaces and I'm letting him know, you get your FBA from me, from my side, from my mama and my daddy. Um, and, you know, I'll be telling him about things and being proud and I remember him telling me that his grandmother would tell him, "Well, you should be um get looking into your African side and this and that," and trying to tell him he needs to go to Africa and he told me he goes, "Mom, I don't have no interest in that." Like he just didn't. And I think for me, I'm looking at it like, yeah, she probably is not setting a good example because honestly, she's a scammer herself. She taught her sons how to scam. Not all of them, but a couple of them. And just the way she even did my son wrong before she passed away. She had him opening accounts for her. She got on his phone plan and had him help her get a phone and wouldn't pay her bill. And I'm thinking, this is your grandson. You should be helping him. You should be giving him money, not him giving you money or helping you pay your bills. Um, and then so he was just like, Mom, I'm just not interested in that. I'm not from there. I don't, and I feel like like I said, like I did just say that, she didn't set a good example for him. She didn't make him want, like, he's looking like, why would I want to go there? You're not even going back. And she didn't plan on going back. She had never been back. If you listen to her talk, she talks with a very extreme proper accent. Like she had no intentions on going back there ever. Um, and then the lady, I get my hair done by an African lady who I believe is also from Ghana, and she watches like these Nollywood movies. So when I'm there getting my hair done and we're watching this stuff, and we had kind of got on the subject of something, and she was talking about the Niger. I mean, when I'm listening to people talk about how they're tribal and they themselves in Africa are so separated and divisive, if just to hear her talk about Nigerians, she was just like, "Oh no, 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 they're horrible. They're scammers. Like, stay away from them." She's telling me to stay away from Nigerians because she's
She
talking about
knows. She
how,
knows.
yeah, she does. So that's one thing. And then the other thing, when I first, got in and started listening, and I'm hearing you guys, and all I keep thinking about is these white people. Like, that's what you get. They all these people that they allowed to come over here just because they don't want to respect us. I mean, I know it's all about respect. They're so busy worried about us doing better than them, us getting revenge on them for what they've done over the years. Look, ain't nobody thinking about y'all. The best revenge is for us to go about our business, do our own thing, and leave y'all hanging and hold your own nuts. Because now they've let all these people come over here and take over everything, and now it's backfired on them. And
We were
now
just
they,
Stacy, we were
mhm,
just talking about we had that same conversation about 30 minutes ago of how foundational white, I mean the system of WS was
uh-huh.
so focused on us that they let
Mhm.
immigrants come and just turn this motherfucker out.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is I feel like and it's almost like, well, not almost. I know they did. I feel it in my bones, like in my soul. They did it on purpose. It's like you did everything in every bit of power and try to make allies with these other people. You wanted to be friends with them. You propped them up. You gave them all this stuff. And now it's blowing up in your face. And so then, when I'm listening to some of the spaces or Tariq's spaces, and you get them calling it, oh, we need to partner up, or no, we're not helping y'all. Every time I'm listening to that, I'm yelling at my phone because I gotta go to bed because I work in the morning. So sometimes I don't get the chance to stay up late and listen to his show like I want to. So I catch it the next day, and I'm sitting here listening and listening to these people, and I'm like, no, no, we're not helping you. And I'm probably yelling at you guys right now and all loud into the phone, but I'm passionate about it because it drives me nuts. And just like I said yesterday, I know this cannot go on too much longer. The universe, it's going to work itself out, and all this stuff is going to come full circle, and these people are going to have to know, that they were wrong. Like, all this hatred for us is so ridiculous because they know we are, to quote Tariq Nasheed and anybody else that said the same thing, that we are a phenomenal people. We are. I'm so proud. I've always been proud to be black. I've always been proud to have my lineage and come from where I come from, because nobody can get through it like we can. Nobody. I mean, when we talk about how what happened during the depression, and why, it's like, this is what happens when you exclude people like us. And guess what? Now we can come out on top, because since you don't want us a part of your thing, and we go build our own thing. And again, when people talk about why they don't want to give us reparations, oh yeah, because it's not because you worried about us going off buying Jordans and Cadillacs and weed and Gucci and everything. Because guess what? That money's still gonna go back to the white man. It's going to circulate. And then they act like, I heard somebody earlier when I was listening to a playback, um trying to say he was FBA, which I don't think he was. He didn't sound like, I think I heard a little accent. And he was trying to say that, oh, we're not going to spend our money on the right thing. Don't act like you're concerned about what we're going to spend our money on, because that you want some of that money too. Now, if you thought that it would be better somewhere else, it's because you don't qualify. You're not getting a check. So all this little stuff, I don't see how anybody who is FBA would talk against us, and themselves included, getting reparations. I'm sorry, it just don't it ain't adding up. And like Wani said, the math ain't math. It sure ain't, because hello, a lot of us who don't own property yet, oh, we're gonna buy us some property, we're gonna buy us a house, we're gonna start something, we're gonna build together. And they always talk about, oh, you just want to buy clothes, you want to buy. People always find a way to get what they don't have. If they don't have it, yeah, that's where we're gonna buy. Yeah, we might want to, if we need clothes, we're gonna buy clothes. But guess what? We get what we need right now, because because this is all the money that we have to get it to get. We get what we can get with the little bit that we have. We make do, we make a way. We've always been survivors. But with reparations, you really don't think, you think we're going to spend all that money? Ain't enough clothes in the world to spend, to throw away all that kind of money. Forget a Birkin bag. I'm buying a house, buying property, buying something. We're going to make sure we build something. They're just mad because they know if we get it, they afraid of being left behind. So what do? They done gave all this stuff to these foreigners and let them come in and get all this stuff and eat off of us. And now that they're on top, they about to lock them out of their own stuff. And it's like, you know what? That's what you get. That's what you get for trying to, you done cut off your nose to spite your face. You done did all this stuff just to go against us so bad because of the hate in your heart that you have for us for no freaking reason. You wouldn't even be on this land if it wasn't for us.
Oh yeah.
And I'll go ahead and land.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I had a little day to myself today. I just wanted to do me. So I finally explored downtown Atlanta. Been living here for 6 months and hadn't really explored, like, the metro. Just, drove around aimlessly and going and eating places and just checking out the scene. And I saw what Miss Stacy was talking about. I saw foreigners in straight up Bentleys. I saw foreigners that didn't even know have mastery over the language calling shots over white Americans. I was like, oh, here we go. Fire Nagy, I think that's what it says.
Mhm.
Wait, did that
Yeah,
person
that's
just get to the
me.
stage, or you just
Thanks.
want to
No,
call him?
he's been on the
No,
stage
I had that.
before.
Yeah,
Oh,
I came
all
back
right.
because I couldn't hear it for some reason. Like my
Yeah,
connection was getting lost.
some time
Yeah, I think
ago,
he was
but
up here about when Miss Stacy came.
yeah, it's his turn.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
So
Fire.
I have a couple of different ways of viewing things. Not to poo-poo any analysis, but I think the reason why we don't go to the African colleges and why we don't try to join Nigerian clubs is we don't seek as a community validation to anybody but ourselves. And that is a powerful thing in and of itself. Whereas Black Americans, like, what's the purpose of joining? Like, anything that's Nigerian or anything that's Ghanaian, they're losers. They lose to us all the time in everything. And so essentially, like, I don't know why I would ever go to a Ghanaian college because I just like I don't feel like they should. You can educate me. We've had so many great intellectuals in our community, and so many more, and so many being born. That what if Africans show me that they can teach me? I mean, we had institutions, straight out of slavery. They didn't have any of that, and the only thing that happened to them was they were colonized. So I wanted to make that point. Second point is also a lot of their degrees aren't recognized because of a lot of scamming that goes on with the degree work. A lot of them will sleep with their professors to get, grades and so forth in order to be passed. And I think a lot of times it's harder to get a medical degree in America because the medical degree in America is also geared toward tort law. A lot of doctors here have to, practice medicine kind of defensively in anticipation of being sued because we are a litigious society. And lastly, Dr. Allen, what kind of directors at you? You seem to listen to a lot of the same guys I listen to. If you can listen to a guy named John Mearsheimer, he talks about great power politics. And in great power politics, what generally happens is if a strong nation or a group of people perceives another group of people as being strong or ascendant, they try to kneecap them or they try to prevent them from being ascendatory, meaning that in the context of how everybody else is seeing white Americans, like they hate us, they hate us, they hate us. I don't see it necessarily as that. I see it as they fear our ascendancy. And I want Black Americans to consider this. In less than 100 years, we had almost full literacy. We had all these guys in the military. We had guys helping win the Spanish American War. We had guys winning the Battle of San Juan. They don't view us the way some of you guys may think they do. They view us as an ascendant power within their country. Think of the Germanic tribes of Rome and what they did to Rome. They undermined Rome over time. And so when you look at Black Americans culturally, historically, militarily, you look at our physique, you look at who we are to be feared, people. Let's stop with this notion that we are not to be feared. We present no threat. If I were another group looking at Black Americans, I would be afraid of them. I mean, let's. I think we're not because we're the in group looking at ourselves. We view ourselves as as kind and peaceful. But if Black Americans, were the majority in this country, we would dominate every other group, and we'd probably dominate the globe easily. We dominate in every other aspect that we dab our fingers into. So when you see a white person, you think, well, they're afraid of it. No, they see our sentence. Okay, I've had a white guy tell me this flat out in the state of Missouri. He told me, he goes, white people fear black people because no matter what we did to you guys, we could not keep you down. I had an Indian guy tell me that one time. He said in 10,000 years, Indians could not do within in 100 years what black Americans did. We are an outlier in world history. And when you see an outlier, you don't say to that outlier, hey, let's not throw everything we can at them, including the kitchen sink. You say, hey, this group is everything and has all the makings of a great power within a power. Historically, black Americans were always called a nation within a nation, meaning that people who were on the outside looking in didn't necessarily perceive us as Americans. They perceived us as, hey, this group, they could be a nascent country if the right conditions occurred. I know nobody's thinking about that. I know nobody thinks like that. But if America ever crumbled or fell into a civil war, ask yourself this one question: what group could quickly reorganize and reconstitute a nation faster than every other group? Ask yourself that question. It wouldn't be Hispanics. It wouldn't be whites. It would be us. I land my plane with that.
Well, what he said was very true. According to Dr. Claude Anderson, uh, let's see, under what did he say? Under the poorest of educational conditions, blacks were able to reduce their literacy, excuse me, reduce their illiteracy from 98% in the mid 1860s to 40% by 1900. That's ridiculous. So 1860, we were about 100% illiterate. And in 1900, we were down 40%. We had a 60% gain. That's outrageous. And just to 20% illiteracy in 1920. In 1920, foundational black Americans were 80% literate. 1920 is a really funny, that's a funny number, funny year, because that, in my opinion, black Americans' advancements under Reconstruction and in the educational system caught the eye of very powerful people, including but not limited to John Rockefeller. 1920 is when the educational system changed and became gobbledygook nonsense. And also 1920 is when the medical industry, the medical schools start teaching differently and medicine changed. In 1920, the attack on black Americans' mind, body, and soul was to commence. Let's go to who was next, Nikki?
Seventh. I mean, I only see one hand. Is
Oh,
there?
Yeah. I was about to tell everybody to raise their hand. Sotar did was supposed to go,
that's what I
Okay.
thought.
but yeah, I would just like everybody if you could please raise your hands if you can. But Sotar, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why do Africans leave Africa? Sharif talked about it, and it said like, they want the white woman. Like I'm not even like joking about that.
Really? You think that's one of the
Well, no,
driving?
I'm telling you, they see girls gone wild back in the day. They're like, hey, I can go. I'm dead serious. As a man, they see girls going wild. They're like, hey, they can make that jungle juice with the Everclear, some fruit punch, some fruit, and they're like, hey, I get to kill two birds with one stone. I mean, at the most basic level, I'm telling you,
I did
that's
not think about that. They
So
certainly
they did
do.
it for white titties and Rice Krispie treats.
Yep.
exactly. You got them yoga pants now,
Well,
so yeah, that's where they come. They
good
wanna be
Lord.
chosen by the frozen.
Lululemon. They want some
Yeah,
Lululemons.
they want that winter soldiers.
My
But yeah,
goodness.
That's that's funny. Dr. John Henry Clark used to say the same thing.
I did not think about that. And when you look at it, all of those prostitutes that leave Africa, they go directly to service these European men. Do they even have any contact with Africans after that? They just seem to go over there and just 24 hours a day. You know what?
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for that perspective. We're gonna
Yeah, very good.
move on to Queen Nini.
I love all the perspectives.
Isn't it nice having different perspective?
You could come back to me. I'm not ready. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
listening, but I'm trying to do something. I'm so sorry, Professor.
You're good. Come on,
Just
seven.
raise your hand when you're ready.
Come on, seven board.
Hi, good evening. To the question, why do Africans leave Africa for school? Because the schools there are basically diploma mills, uh, and I wouldn't want to go there to get a degree. Uh, but something else y'all were talking about, the uh, with Vivek Ramaswamy, what he said. He basically showed his ass to white people, uh, and about what the deal is, and white people, they're and Elon, with trying to bring in foreigners and shit like that. They're all about to get really disciplined by these white people, and I I don't know in which form it's going to take, but I just want to say to FBA family, start practicing your Second Amendment rights. I yield the mic.
Yeah, we're a nonviolent space. But what he said earlier, what he just said, I have to say that disclaimer.
Yes.
What he just said about Vivek, those of you who weren't in my space yesterday, I went ahead and posted it in the jumbotron so y'all can read through how bold Vivek Warmer Swarm. I don't even know how to say the dude's last name. I'm gonna call him Vivek. How bold
I
Vivek is
call him the
getting.
Hindu
Um,
butthead. Take a good look from Beavis
Okay.
and Butthead.
Yeah, I like that.
there's some resemblance. I can see the
Mm-hmm.
resemblance. Uh, let's go to 44 God, and then we can come back around to the black.
Yeah, I was gonna come in early on what I think Miss Stacy, I think I'm not sure I can see the whole name about the reparations. Tariq oftentimes says $20 trillion. Well, that's actually correct. Joel R. Fegan, the president of the American Sociological Association, he said by even rough calculation, the sum total of worth of all the black labor stolen by whites through the means of legal slavery, segregation, and contemporary racial discrimination is truly staggering, perhaps in the range of $5 to $24 trillion. So when Tariq says $20 trillion, it's actually documented that that's the amount we're owed. That's all I have to say. Appreciate it.
Well, if it will make people feel better, we can just not buy any clothing and just walk around naked, but just buy houses. Is that better?
No cap.
I mean, hey, if I get the money, I'm investing, But yeah, I'm just saying, just agreeing with Tariq, what he often says it $20 trillion, and it's actually documented 25 to $24 trillion that we are actually due for the free labor we've done. So I mean,
I
if somebody want to go and buy some Nikes and some
Mhm.
polos, hey, that's their business.
It certainly is. We can buy whatever we want. And the good
Right,
news is that all the money goes to America instead
exactly.
of the billions that go to India with them working here. Do you realize that? I just saw a staggering amount of money for remittances. I don't remember the amount, but it's a lot. It's a lot that
mm,
should go to this country. They do not do anything for this country except suck it dry. Literally, they are
right,
taking our resources and giving them to other countries.
which is why I said earlier, who is in charge? Why? What am I not understanding? I know I'm not the smartest brick in the masonry yard, but it just seems like somebody in charge would come to the realization that Wani Spots just came to. Wait a minute, these people are coming over here, taking our money and remitting it to Mexico, remitting it to India, and sucking us dry. And they're not bringing new ideas. Like, wait a minute, we need to fix that. So apparently, there's some fundamental fact that I'm remediating on.
Globalism.
Somebody educate me.
Globalism. Every time someone
Globalism.
tries to be American first, the globalist gets in their ear and makes them an offer they can't refuse.
Hmm. I need to study this globalist agenda because apparently I don't understand it. The black, what's on your mind, man?
What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody having a blessed day. uh, why do Africans leave Africa for school? Whew, to come over here and finesse like they do every other country. Like most of
Hmm.
their degrees are fake and forgeries. You see, they out here getting kicked out of Britain and all these other countries in Europe, and these white people are getting tired of them because they see that they not coming over here to just subvert us. They coming over here to subvert them too. And when it comes down to white supremacy, we know how to deal with it. We have done dealt with it for years. Uh, and the fact that a lot of these Africans think that we're stupid and we don't see the larger plan is really ridiculous to me. Cause it's very disrespectful. Cause like every group has done the same thing, and over the years they have failed. They have been ridiculed and sent to the back burner, and we have always been the innovators, no matter how much the dominant society try to stop us. Now, when it comes down to globalism, I just feel like they are pawns in the whole agenda because the whole point is to weaken America. Like the brother said earlier, when we are in the majority of the army, we go around the world kick ass. That's why a lot of countries fear us, so they gotta come over here and play like a hidden role to try to befriend us and befriend the white supremacists, and then they find a way to try to get us to beefing. But it's like we done been there, done that, so it's not working, and a lot of people are getting upset because at the end of the day, like a lot of people are just focused on America first, building their community and actually living the true American dream that our ancestors fought for. And I leave right there.
Yeah, but is the America First ideology failing? Onthespotts and associates had educated me yesterday on apparently MAGA turning on Trump. Wani, could you tell us more about that? Uh oh, did I
Hey,
am I
hey, hey,
here?
Professor, can
Oh,
you?
hey,
Damn, I was gonna say.
what
Okay, I hear
happened?
me. Oh, the gentleman was talking about the America First agenda, and he was saying he basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he was saying America First is going to uh, handle the issue, and I wanted to bring up what you educated the room on yesterday with respect to the possibility that the America First agenda is cap,
Um, again,
maybe cap.
I I think that the president knows what the Americans voted for. And if he keeps playing games and pretending like he doesn't know what's happening, it's going to cost him. It's going to cost all of them. And I think they will stay on his butt. They can see that he's being bought out. We know that he lost a big lawsuit and he's probably broke. And if some globalist slides up on him and says, hey, what about this? Do it my way. Bring over all of India. I don't understand this plan. It's definitely anti-American because these people are known for not, I mean, they're actually bringing in people that are known for not wanting to be American. They're going to keep on being, whatever they're doing. Hindu, they don't want to take off their turbans, they don't want to stop being Hindu, whatever sect they're coming from. These people are, very rigid in their beliefs. And all of their beliefs are racist and anti everyone else. So I know this country is hip to what's going on right now. They know that some influence, some influence has kind of tried to redirect what we all voted for. And it's not going to go down. It could cause a problem. There's several things going on right now that are going to cause serious problems. Number one, they keep talking about stopping Trump from being the president, trying to get
Hmm.
Congress to stop him from being the president. That's going to be a civil war. And if they don't
Mm-hmm.
deport people like they promised to do, that's going to be a problem. So I think they better do what we voted for. They really better, or else there's going to be some serious problems and violence in this country. There will be protests, there will be outbursts. Too many people are angry, and too many people voted for things to go a certain way.
Yeah, yeah, we're in a very there is no more room. What's the word? The phrase margin for error. There is no more margin for error, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go to a new talker. Let's see what Shaka Ben got to say.
Ah, boy. Greetings, brother Professor Allen, Nikki the God. Could everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Sister
I hear you, bro.
Wani. So, it's like this, man. Like y'all was saying, these oath keepers, these 1%ers or whatever percent you want to call them. These are the people that's going to start the anarchy if Trump doesn't keep his word. To talk about you're going to get rid of one set of immigrants to replace with another set of immigrants. It's totally asinine, and you just basically, cutting off your nose to smite your face. But as far as them and black people and reparations and I keep hearing this talk, about if we're gonna spend our money on Adidas and gold chains and rims and all that. Okay, let's just keep it a bean. There's going to be a great majority of Black Americans, aka Foundation Americans, because I like to say Foundation Americans, that are going to, squander the money, put it back, boost the economy. Either way, it's going to boost the economy. But see, here's the thing that they're really fearful of. See, they're fearful of they're fearful of the Wanies. They're fearful of the Shakas. They're fearful of the Professor Allens. They're fearful of my Queen Shika. They're fearful of people like us who are business minded, enfranchised minded, and and generational minded as far as building the wealth. That's what they're fearful of. They're fearful of that next George Washington Carver. They're fearful of that next inventor or that person that just need that capital to get over the hump. That's what they're scared of. It's not so much about, oh, you guys are going to go and you're going to blow your money up and you're going to be buying a whole bunch of, rims, and you're going to be buying Cadillacs and all kind of fast cars and, Hellcats. They're not worried about that. They don't give a damn if we do that. They're worried about us enfranchising. They're worried about people like me who just played that a mega ball tonight because it's well over $1 billion. Although I know I probably won't be the one who hit it, but who knows? You got to play to win. And if I do get that money, my God, what I could do with it. That's what they're worried about. They're worried about the conscious black man who's going to lead his family to some type of generational wealth and enfranchise his family. That's what they're worried about, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with all that. And brother, I would also say that this ideology, this worry of us buying Hellcats and rims, that's
Yeah,
manufactured. They're
yeah, yeah,
promoting
yeah,
that. We're
yeah.
not promoting that. They're
Why don't
promoting
they
Exactly.
that.
worry about what Indians buy? Why don't they mind their business? Don't
Why,
worry
Exactly.
why
about what
haven't
I
they?
buy.
Why haven't they worried about what the Latinos been buying with all that money? I'm in D.C. myself. I'm foundational Black American. I know I look like a Rasta because I am a Rastafarian, but I don't have no Caribbean descent at all. My father
Mhm.
people come from Franklin, North Carolina. My mama people come from a place called Bennettsville, South Carolina. That's in Marlborough County, South Carolina. Now, that being
Is
said,
that Gullah Geechee area?
well, no, I won't call it the Gullah Geechee area. It's actually central north South Carolina. It's around. I tell you exactly where it's at. It's in the Florence, Darlington, Hartsville, Bishopville, Chiraw, which is where.
I don't know any of those.
Well, that's northern. That's the northern, like coming off of the 95 corridor. That like
I
right out
don't
of
know
Dillon. If
that.
you know anything about Dillon, North Carolina, south of the border. I mean, South
No,
Carolina, south of the
no,
border.
no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't
that's
know.
central east, central northeast. That's going towards Myrtle Beach. If that jars your memory.
Okay, I know where that
Yeah,
is.
going towards
Thanks.
Myrtle Beach, coming off of 410. But yeah, they're not worried about. And here in DC, where I live, born and raised, DC, and back in 1964, Freeman Hospital, known now as Howard University Hospital, back in the day was known as Freedman Hospital. That's the hospital I was born in. I'm the last of the baby boomers, the beginning of the Gen Xers. You know, they're not worrying about what these Latinos are doing with their money. You know, here in DC, the Mayor Bowser, she's financing these cats with scooters. They got cell phones. They got big. First of all, how do you all get a DoorDash and Uber accounts and you don't even have citizenship? How do where's your money going? How do you even got a bank account and you don't even have citizenship? Even if you get an e-banking card, you got to have some type of credentials to be able to, they could be able to send your money on your
Not them.
e-banking card.
It's a they have another system. It's like a two-tiered legal system and a two-tiered ID system. So for us, we're
Hello.
being told get over and get the real ID. For
Mm-hmm.
them, they're just breaking all the rules of the what do you call that? Uh, what happened after 9/11? We had that
You mean the
national security.
national security, homeland security?
Yeah, they don't have to follow Homeland Security.
Yeah,
They don't have
yeah.
to follow all the vaccinations. They can come across the border with diseases. Nobody's making them get vaccinations. They get to break all of the rules globally.
And,
Globally.
and don't be surprised, guys, if something weird happens to my phone because I live like 2 miles away from Homeland Security here in DC, the headquarters. And you always have weird things going on with your phone. You know what I mean? As far as when you like you can't really listen to Wi-Fi outside of my building because we're just right behind, not too far from Homeland Security. So, but I doubt they do anything. I haven't had any problems yet. I'd be on Reek, I'd be on Red Supreme, and I'd be talking my stuff. So I haven't had it, but you never know. But I'm right here in the southeast area, DC, Congress Heights area. If anybody know anything about DC, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I kind of grew up on Benning
yeah, yeah.
Road with
Yeah,
my
yeah, about a
grandmother.
shrimp boat.
Shrimp
Yeah,
boat.
yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. East Capitol and Bennett Road, right there. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but here in the city, man, they're financing these cats up here, man. These cats, you see brand new utility vehicles riding around, with the brand new equipment all on it. You see, all these new little contracting companies. These little essays can't even look over the steering wheel. I mean, you see little essay ladies driving big SUVs, brand new. You see all of a sudden, first it start off with just the scooters, but now you see cats in cars and whatnot. Now you see cats all in nice homes. The other day I just peeped because I know nobody wants to live in that house around my neighborhood here, in this neighborhood, the Douglas neighborhood, up the street from Congress Heights. And I look, and all of a sudden it's these essays sitting outside talking, chilling like they've been in the hood for like all their lives. I'm like, yeah, won't nobody lived in this house here a little while ago when y'all came here. So they're caking these people up, man. It's the city, it's the county, and it's the state, and it's the federal. It's all of them. These people get money from all angles, man. For real,
So you're saying Muriel Bowser is still
man.
the
I
mayor?
don't know what the hell is going on and why these people ain't got
What is
these
she?
people up
How is
out
she
of here.
still
She
there?
is still in here. B. They just re-voted that woman back up in here, man. I don't know what the hell is wrong with these folk up here
Wow.
in DC. They done bumped their head. This woman here is totally against us. All Muriel Bowser concerned about is LGBT, because of course she's LGBT. Uh,
Oh, well, there it
yeah,
is.
she's
There it is.
LGBT. Yeah, it's not no secret about that. Matter of fact, her and her partner are raising a little girl, a little adopted girl. Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
What? Well, Shaka, I appreciate your submission. We're gonna move on to Fire Nagy. What's on your mind, Fire?
I just want to add to the point you made earlier about and Wani made about Citizens United. I don't really believe this is a concerted effort by like a global cabal. I just believe that what happened was with Citizens United and corporations being given a vote and being basically told that corporations are people. It threw our entire political structure, up in the air. I mean, they've now bought every one of our politicians. Okay, they now buy a seat at the table, and what you have is you have all these lobbyists, big agriculture, Tyson Foods, textile industries. You have, the now you see the tech industry. They're coming to the table and making demands, and what they demand is cheap labor. This country has never gotten over the fact that they had to give our people liberty. It's always been addicted to cheap labor. And so I think what everybody's thinking is a concerted effort. No, it's a concerted effort by the rich to keep getting richer, and it looks concerted because it's all going against us. So, man, that's just my opinion. I think you guys hit the nail on the head because ever since Citizens United happened, and Noam Chomsky discussed it, as you talked about, Professor, and various other, intellectuals and academics. You have as we looked at the war in Russia and Ukraine, you had the defense industry. We were figuring out like what's going on with Israel, with Ukraine, with Taiwan. It's a defense industry, and I think during the Joe Biden administration, we got to see what's actually happening, and a lot of people have their hands in this pot, and they're stirring our society. They're moving our government and our society in multiple different directions. On top of that, you have things like the Hispanic caucus. You have things like the Asian caucus. What is it called? The API caucuses and things like that. You have the Indians giving money to politicians. I believe that Menendez was indicted because he took bribes from the country of Turkey. That's all Citizens United. And so what we're finding now is all the money from around the world is pouring into America, and they're exerting their influences on us. And those influences are not beneficial to us because they don't reflect what we as the American people, and they don't reflect our interests. I'll let my plan with that.
Yeah, very, very well put, my friend. Very well put. Um, yeah, I don't really have nothing to add to that. It was very succinct, cogent, straight to the point. It's a bigger picture out there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go to a new speaker. Let's see what James. What's on your mind, brother James?
Peace to the room, peace to the host and co-host, Nikki the God. Uh, Honestly, it's an honor to be in the room tonight because I have my brother here who's always on the road. He's a truck driver, and he wanted to know something specific, as far as y'all scholarship and how to understand who we are as Foundation of Black Americans. Because it's all new to him and things that we're talking about. I want to preface him in the right direction. But me, myself, I'm not as astute in certain things as you guys are. So I'm asking for him, if you would, if he wanted to know
What
this
state
type.
is he in?
Oh, my brother's here in Georgia. We're both from
Okay.
Georgia.
What
Okay.
does
But
he know?
okay, not anything specifically, just a scholarship. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't. He got into Black history as a middle schooler, and
Hmm.
and I always get into it with him about some things that you've read. I don't know if you can really trust that because a lot of people.
Well, well, brother, I wrote a book to kind of deal with this issue. What year is it? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was professing at a historically black college, and I still have copies. So if you want a copy of that, look on my page. You click on my face. It says Our Story Publications. Send $25 to Our Story Publications, and and put your mailing address, and I'll send you out a copy. I kind of break it down in depth as who we are. It's a little bit of everything. I call it the years on it. Let me get a copy right quick. I I go from it's the comprehensive U.S. history workbook for the original African American family. I had to use African American at university.
Right.
I couldn't say foundational Black American. And I have colonization or revolution. So I talk about who we are and what we've been through from 1492 to 1796. So basically, um, when the country was quote unquote discovered by Columbus till the Revolutionary War. So I kind of talk about shit that the books don't talk about. Talk about how Columbus. I have excerpts from Columbus' diary in the beginning and how he came over here with intent. But yeah, but outside of me, a good place to look. Dr. Claude Anderson, anything by Claude. Just look up Dr. Claude Anderson. He has a lot of good stuff. If you want to try, see, our lineage goes so many different directions. It depends on what you're trying to see. If you want to see um, uh, evidence and history from those of us who have lineage from Africa, look at Dr. Chancellor Williams. Um, he has a book called The Destruction of African Civilization, where he hints on where some of the Black Americans came from, because not all of us came from the homeland.
True.
Some of us did. I'm mixed with both. My dad, we linked dad's. His father was. We linked him to a plantation in North Carolina. So he's off the boat partially, but my mom's side of the family from Alabama, they've been here 10,000 years. Maybe, who knows, maybe a million years. We've been here the whole time. So, but it depends on what you want to see because it's so broad. Right now, me and my colleague are writing another book to address that, a real short to the point book with evidence showing those of us who have always been here. But it's a good journey. It's well worth it.
And I definitely appreciate that because me, I'm of the stance. Yeah, I can't wait for that book to come out that you guys are writing. I appreciate that because that's the stance that I've taken as far as the lineage of
Mm.
my family. But at the same time, yes, we're writing this down, and I appreciate this because it wasn't. He's my younger brother, so I wasn't enlightened until, to be honest with you, until he really gave me some understanding about certain things. So it's an honor for me to be able to come on the stage and talk to you guys and find a good starting place. And I appreciate that. I'm sorry to be off topic,
Man,
but I felt like this is
no,
important.
you good, bro. Thank you for coming. Yeah, thank
No,
you for
this
coming
is on
through.
topic.
It's on
I'm
It's
gonna
on
topic.
top.
put some
You
stuff
know.
in the jumbotron. I don't know what your brother wants to know about, but yeah, there's.
It's it's really it's really me personally. I felt like he learned a lot of this in these public schools here in America. So
Mhm.
I really don't trust any of that.
You mean like
To be honest,
You
inventions
shouldn't.
and are like coming out of slavery types of things? Is that what you mean?
well, no.
Yeah, that's a whole nother direction. Yeah,
To
true.
be honest with you, he wasn't specific about that. He was just more so like I would say assume that he was just our heritage, really. That's what I would assume he would come from.
Okay, I'm gonna put some stuff in the jumbotron. Another thing.
Oh, well,
But
yeah,
that's kind of the hard part about it, brother. Is when you say our heritage, the foundational Black American is an amalgamation of different groups. So we're one now, but when you start digging through history, we're a bunch of different points that came together. Um, in some ways by force. But so it depends on what you got to be more specific. It would be beneficial to you to try to figure out a specific time that you want to learn about our
I'm sorry.
heritage.
No, that was absolutely right. What you just said. That's it. That's it.
What part?
So if you want to see,
What part did he say?
About understanding the amalgamation of our heritage, and
Hmm.
it's a little bit
Yeah,
deeper.
yeah.
And that's
I put some stuff in the jumbotron.
yes,
Um,
man.
a couple of things. Yeah. We've done a lot of work on all of these things. We've really tore through all of our sports legends. We have uncovered a lot of hidden lineages that we have, and we've can use the research of, global researchers have pulled up a lot of stuff, and they've really changed who was actually here in America, has flipped upside down. So there's two founding populations as far as they're concerned now.
Okay. I'm sorry. He's right, but he, he
Wait, is the professor talking?
no, I'm
Oh, I
not.
couldn't hear
The
you.
gentleman,
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
It was broken up a bit.
I hear
Go
you
ahead.
now.
I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, because we're here sitting down, we're having this conversation. He can't really ask the question as articulate, as I would ask, because he's new to understanding who us the resistance. I would say no leaders, just those of us who care about who our people and trying to move forward. He's new to this, so I'm trying to get him on point what's going on with our people right now in this delineation movement because it's important, and I don't want him to lose sight of all the knowledge that he always has, but just coming from astute foundational Black Americans because it's more powerful when we learn these things from guys like you when somebody who looks like me, that means the world to us. And and I appreciate you guys pointing us in these directions. I thank you for posting in the jumbotron. I'm showing it to him now, and I just appreciate you guys. And I land.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm really,
Yeah, it
I was going to say real quick, I'm really happy to be doing this at this point because we don't have to use
uh
pseudoscience. We don't have to guess where we came from. We don't have to wonder. We have access to everything that we could possibly have. We have researchers that have done genetic studies on us and everybody else around the world. We have all kinds of genealogy. We have access to books online that go into details about specific areas. Like, say your family comes from Sussex County, like one part of my family comes from this odd place in Delaware,
Mhm.
and there's books about that, just about that place. And if your family comes from some odd place that's not really seems like it's off the beaten path,
Right.
there's plenty of books on that as well to help you to do your genealogy and get an idea of what was going on with your ancestors. And that joins perfectly with the research that's been done. We've been well documented by some researchers in South America. For some reason they took an interest in our genetics to kind of juxtapose it against theirs. Like, why are we different than South Americans? And we've had multiple researchers looking into our genetics and where we stand today and like what makes us different. So we have a lot of help. And we have a lot of help to get this information out there. We don't have to, make up stories about being Egyptian. We actually found very, a lot of Black American males have an Egyptian haplogroup that goes to a specific of King Ramses III and some mummies. They call them the Amarna mummies. We don't have to make that up anymore because people would tease us and say, "Oh, you're just making that up," and blah blah blah. It's not every black man has that, but it's on the male side. We can't. It doesn't show up on women because it's
Wow, that's interesting.
paternal a paternal haplogroup. So we found that, and that's also like it's somewhat vindication for my enemies, the Pan Africanists. They got some vindication there, backed by science. So they a clock is twice is right twice a day. So they were hitting on some things, but they didn't have all the tools we have now. So
Right.
um, we can be very sound in what we're saying right now, and that's the part I like. And you can do your own stuff. You can look up your own genealogy. We're not
Yes.
like we were before, where you had to hire some person to do it that would go to the library and look up on old microfiche and all this other stuff. We can do it ourselves online when we
Okay.
get it does take time. It's very time consuming,
Yes, it
but
is.
we can do it, and we can. And sometimes it feels like you're hitting a wall. You're like, oh no, I can't find this person. Or if you have a grandmother named Mary Jones, that's not helpful. She needs these common names are
Right.
really not fun. But you feel like you hit a brick wall sometimes on these sites, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's such a good feeling to break through one of those walls and find another. I'm gonna post something to help people do their genealogy under the chat too.
Yes, and yeah, it was a wall, and you just broke it down with what you posted in the jumbotron, and I thank you guys again. Continue to do this space. Just understand that we are here, and we got y'all back. Be one.
Yeah, it may be beneficial, like for you and your brother to, if you get a chance to get
Yes,
a
sir.
copy of my book. It's a workbook. It's not just where you can read it. I have um, diagrams in here to kind of help you understand. For instance,
Uh
on
huh.
page 34, I talk about how the government gave a slave hunting license. Like right now, you could go to Bass Pro Shop and get a fishing license to
Uh-huh.
go fishing. Right? They gave hunting licenses to hunt slaves and Indians. And at the bottom of that page, I have a diagram that analyzes different time periods. And I'm asking you the question: has anything changed? You know, we talk about Nathaniel Bacon, and we talk about George Zimmerman, and we talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, two different time periods, but making you analyze it. Has anything changed?
No.
You know, so it may be beneficial if you get a chance to get a copy of my book to talk to just work through it with my brother and answer some of those
Yes,
questions. Because you'll discover a lot about how a lot of things really hadn't changed in this country.
yeah, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Wani. Thank you, Professor, and most definitely thank you, Nikki, for even being in this space. Nikki, Miss Nikki, the God, don't get enough credit like she should do. Y'all show Miss Nikki some love any way you can, because
Oh, Nikki runs the show. Y'all just don't
yeah,
know it because she quiet.
she is, and that's a beautiful thing, and it's very appreciated. You just don't understand how much you've helped two brothers trying to help their family out. Thank you.
Man, stay tuned, brother. I'm glad you're
Yes,
here.
sir. Thank you.
Um, you welcome. I think it was Miss Stacy, and we'll go to 7 Forward after her. Go ahead, Miss Stacy.
So sometimes I get a little um my juices, my creative juices get going, or the more I listen and I start hearing things. And when you guys were talking about like if something was to happen and America, just the whole area, if everything went down bad, right? And who would be
Mm.
the ones to kind of rescue or pull us all out of it? And obviously it will be us. um but one I had an I had so I had this analogy, and I'm like, everybody else is this virus, and we are the healthy cells that regenerate, because the way
Mm.
we are created, our bodies really are created to heal itself. I mean, I work in the medical field, so and I did the classes and the um you know in the medical terminology and the physiology and all that. And it's true, like all, and the cells are such, it's just amazing. If you one of the things I always say, if you look at a hand, right, and you get a cut on your hand, first of all, the way our cells are made, the way our bodies are made, every individual cell has a job to do, and it does its job. You look, just looking at your hand, looking at where your nail bed starts, and how it knows to create the cells know where to create a nail at, versus the rest of your hand, just all the things, and like our hair, how where our hair grows out of our bodies at. So, and I'm sitting here listening to you guys and listening to everyone and all the participation and all the information that I'm getting, and I'm like, it's so obvious. If we were to compare ourselves um to 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 the human body, we're like these healthy cells. And it's been, and over time and time again, history have shown these things happen to us no matter what. Yeah, some cells, they die off, but the healthy ones continue to keep coming back and rejuvenate. And so if something was to happen, we are those healthy cells that's going to bring this thing back, because everyone else, they're killing this earth,
Mm.
and they're killing America. They're just tearing it apart. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way I can look at it. They're a virus, and
Yeah, I'm gonna
we're the
have to.
ones who got to come in and go ahead.
You got me thinking. I'm gonna have to do a space on the immune system.
Hmm.
You got me
Mm-hmm.
thinking.
Hey, you know what color cancer cells are, right? Hmm.
Yes, leukemia.
Lu means white. Like
Uh-huh. Yes.
Caucasian people used to be called leucoderms, according to Dr. Sharshi McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
Dermy skin, white
Mm-hmm.
derm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, cancer cells are white.
I'll,
Too
and
many
And
I,
white
oh,
blood
I'm sorry. Go
cells
ahead.
means you. Too many white blood cells means you have an infection.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. And I always think if I mean, I wish I had the time and the wherewithal to do it, but if I could and just get all the information, or I would love to be able to see, like, create something, some sort of movie. It probably wouldn't even. It couldn't even. I don't even think. Every time I think about it, I'm thinking it couldn't last very long because you really couldn't do it. Like, just something to show what the world would be without our inventions, our creations. There would be nothing. Like, I wouldn't even know how to start it. Like, I'd be like sitting there and somebody be saying, hey, call so and so, and it's like, well, wait a minute, we can't call because, like, what the world would be like without FBAs, you know what I mean? So, and everybody's standing around trying to do certain things, and then they go, well, wait a minute, Black people created that and they're not here, so it was never created because we don't exist. Like,
That's a great
or
that's a great
somehow
movie plot.
take us out of the picture.
That's a
Hmm.
great movie plot that I wanted someone to develop, because literally the only reason we have trains is because we had something to export. The only reason that we have
Hmm.
the agriculture that we have is because people invented things, crop rotation techniques and soil regeneration. We invented from the ground to the soil, all the way to calculating the moon landing in a very, very
Right. It's
short period of time, while other people have been
hmm.
weaving baskets for thousands of years and playing the same drum circles for and the same
Oh,
traditional belly dance music for thousands of years, and we have burst on the scene, just being, again, being literate, and having people to come off of those Ellis Island boats that are illiterate peasants
mhm.
that don't even speak English.
And if we could just show that visual to people, that'd be such a great education for someone to see, just to be like, imagine, like, and not just thinking about it, but for them to actually see it. Like, this is what, these are the things you cannot do without us, because if take us out of it, take us out of the equations, if we didn't exist, or we not here on this planet, or on this in this country, or just anywhere, and imagine what this world would look like, and I wish I could, create that and write it down, but somebody
A
please help
screenwriter.
somebody do it.
We need a screenwriter, people.
Absolutely, yes,
Oh
we
yeah.
do. Maybe I'll talk to my son. He did want to be a screenwriter
Mm.
when he was in high school.
Mm.
I'll have to talk to him about
Interesting.
that.
It seems like a wonderful plot. Um, we're gonna move on to Shiloh Joseph.
I didn't.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Shiloh.
peace to the room, fam.
Hey,
So I was just finna ask about your book, but I see that Miss Wani and posted it in the purple pill because I've
no,
been.
that's another book.
Oh,
That's not mine. Mine. You know
okay,
what?
Do
Hold
you
on one
have
second. I
room to
should
put
put.
it in the chat?
please.
Yeah.
Let me put it
Hold
Put
on
in the
the
one
chat.
second.
space, and it's taking me in here, and I'm going. It says book publishing, book publishers. I'm like, where do I click?
Oh, you
Yeah,
talking about my
on
page? Yeah, you just go to our story publication. You just go to our story publications and put $25 in it, and I'll put your address and I'll
I'm,
mail it to you.
I'm in here right now,
Um,
and it says GoDaddy, and they got our story public.
oh no, that website is defunct. You just go to our story publications. I mean the I'm
Looking at
misleading you.
jumbotron. Looking at jumbotron. Wait, let me just put this back up here.
Please, help me
Um,
out with this.
And it would be good because
Oh Lord,
the other, no,
I'm getting
the
all
other
shy now.
one is, it's two different books. One of them goes into your lineage and talks about the delineation stuff, and the professors is really like really educational.
Yes. Well,
You need, both of them, but really, I think for children it would be. Don't you think yours is good for children, Professor?
yeah,
Younger people,
Well,
not children,
I
but
have
younger people.
Well, it's based off of eighth grade
Okay.
Lexile, so it's based off eighth grade standards. But I have ages 9 through 119
Okay.
because although it's off of eighth grade standards, I got real information
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah,
there.
you need it. You
So
definitely need it. People are definitely being miseducated, and it's not necessary. Like I said, we have the information now.
Okay, did y'all put that for me?
right.
Wait, do I? Is there a way to make it easier for people to click on it, Professor?
Yeah,
You want me to? You
that's
want me to
my
do it?
bad. So so brother, all you do is I'm looking for the doggone. You go to Cash App, go to our story, a dollar sign our story publication. It's on my
You can click on it. It's on the jumbotron.
you put it in the jumbotron. Okay, there it is. Bam. That's it. Let me take a picture of this. Yeah. So dollar sign our store publications, send $25 and that covers shipping and handling, and I'll send you, and make sure you put your full mailing address and I'll mail it out to you tomorrow.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna get this together. Yep, I got it now. So yeah, thank you.
And when they click on it and it goes over to that other domain, how do they click on it to make sure it doesn't do that?
Yeah, I need to get that off my
Okay.
page because
Because
yeah,
that's what
that's
people
my bad.
must
I
be
need to
hitting on that
erase
when
that.
you're telling them. And then,
Yeah, they are.
oh,
and
Yeah,
I
I
knew
was
better than
trying.
that.
Yeah,
But yeah.
we'll work on it tomorrow.
Thank,
We'll work on it
okay,
and figure it out.
okay.
So
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Does it
Yeah.
make sense now, brother? You just I'm being real complicated. Just go to the Cash App, put $25 in it, put your name and address, and I'll mail it to you. Yeah, the
Okay.
website is
One
no
question.
longer
I can put my
functional.
name and address in the Cash App thing.
Or you can either which way. Some people
I'm gonna
DM'd it to me, but you
I'm gonna
can put
send
it in Cash App.
I'm gonna
It
send you
would
the
have,
money, and I'm gonna just say, Professor Lon, I sent you the money, and I'll just give you. I'll hit you in the DM.
yeah, hit me in a DM
There you go.
with your stuff, and I'll send it out tomorrow. I've had quite a bit
Thank
of people buying it, but it's really interesting. It's only 70 76 pages, but it took me 3 years to write. Um, yeah, it talks about basically this is a what this was intended to be was to combat to go against how the school systems are misleading us. And what I'm talking about in this book is the years 1492 from when Columbus showed up to 1776 when America became a country. And I talk about the real deal of what went down and why it became a country and what was our role in it. Uh-oh, did I lose my signal?
no.
we got you.
Okay.
We got you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, anybody else want to come up and share some thoughts? Let's see. We're gonna go to Seventh Ward. Uh, um, go ahead, Seventh
Yeah,
Ward.
yeah. You kind of answered part of my question when you put your Cash App in the jumbotron, because I was going to ask you what it was, because I'm interested in putting a little something on everybody, and couldn't you? And I would like to ask the co-hosts if they could advertise their Cash Apps too, because I'd like to financially support wherever I can. I yield the mic.
Right on.
Okay.
Yeah, Nikki and Wanda, let me know what your cash apps are so I can put them in the jumbotron.
That's nice.
We're gonna go to. Let's see. We're gonna close in a little bit, guys. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to everybody. Let's get some new speakers. Let's Walik Lauren, I think is what that says. Well, I'm sorry, Wakil. I need to put my
I
glasses
saw the
on.
same
Wakil, what's on
thing.
your mind?
Believe. I
I saw.
can't
Well, I
see
swear to
it.
God, I
Is it
saw
two
Walik.
eyes or am I blind? I think I'm blind.
We both are.
It's Wakil.
Okay, sorry.
Um, yeah, yes. Thank you guys. It's an honor to speak with you guys. But just on the Vivek Swami comment, I don't think I work in the tech industry. Um, and I worked for two different. In the past, I worked for two different major tech companies here in Seattle, and one in Florida. Um, and I don't think from the advent of AI, I don't think that these guys are going to dominate the financially, economically, socially as much as they think they are. Only because once AI comes on line fully in every industry, it is going to there's going to be no need for all of the programming jobs and all of the tech jobs within about another 20 to 25 years. So it, society is going to be more left brain based, and that's where we dominate as African Americans, meaning left brain based involvements such as music, philosophy, spirituality, things of that nature. Those are things that AI can't really give the human being in an acceptable manner and may never ever be able to. So those things, music and things of that nature, will continue to be dominated by us. Like for instance, morality has been um, uh, we've been pioneers of morality through our leaders. You know, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, things of that nature, the Elijah Muhammad's, things of that nature for a very long time globally. So you have the Tamil Tigers that copied off of the Black Panthers and things of that nature, Brown Panthers, things of that nature. So we've been the staples of that whole intuitive type of human endeavors. So I think, you know, in the next 30 to 50 years, they they believe that they're going to dominate because they're dominating the tech spaces now. And I don't believe if you AI is going to make them obsolete. It's going to make all their jobs obsolete. And our culture rules their youth now all around the world. You have Indians in India. The Indian hip hop scene is like blowing the pieces. The Korean hip hop scene is blowing the pieces. Like we dominate the minds and hearts of their children, right? And all we are going to do is continue to innovate in those spaces, in that intuitive, musical, culturally based spaces. And I'm not saying this to say that we shouldn't, you know, get into tech and things of that nature. We shouldn't learn programming, things of that nature. No, I think we should do that still, but we are not to be counted out just because they now dominate most of the STEM based spaces. And I
Well, I agree with you, brother, but I will address a fallacy that a lot of us aren't aware of. We've been propagandized to believe that we're complete right on left brain, like spiritual. That's not true. The foundational Black American, we're a phenomenon. We're right in the middle. We can do them
yeah, yeah,
both. We're almost
I definitely agree.
ambidextrous with the whole brain issue.
Yep.
There's been a lot of effort to keep us out of science. As our sister Wanda Spots can prove to you, we fucking created science. But we're gonna end pretty soon, so I don't
Yeah.
want to hog the space. Let's go to
No,
Black
I wanted
Truth
to make a
and
public service
go
announcement.
go ahead, Wanda.
Elon Musk is losing his mind, big, big
Oh Lord,
time.
what do you do now?
He posted that the reason I'm in America, along with so many other critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H1B. Biatch. He didn't say biatch. No,
Oh, he
I
said
said
he
that.
said
Asperger's.
I
biatch.
added that for fun. Um,
Oh,
take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. He actually said that. Take a big
whoa,
step
what the?
back and fuck yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue the
He's
likes
off
of
his
which you
meds.
cannot possibly comprehend. He's already
Now that
canceled everybody's account that was prominent in MAGA that said, no, get out. You, your visa, and your little Indian friends hit the road. He is losing it. And there's no free
well the
speech because all of these MAGA people's accounts are up the wazoo. And they're not coming back. I mean, even the big ones with millions of followers are like, no, your badge is gone. First he took their badges and then he disabled certain features. Then now they just got thrown off. So I don't know what happened to Laura. What's her
This is
name?
wow.
why Trump kept truth so social. He must have seen this
Oh
coming.
my God. He is throwing a
So,
hissy fit. That's why he looks like that.
what did they say? Why
Have you seen his
they're
real
not
picture
giving? They
without the toupee on? Have you seen how this guy looks? He looks like a person who would say all this
hilarious.
stuff.
Ha ha ha. Well, the dangerous thing is Elon Musk, for years has had some type of strange pull over very powerful people, including but not limited to Vladimir Putin. World leaders listen to him. So I didn't like that comment of going to war, because if anybody has the power, any civilian has the power to persuade a war, it would be him.
This is Tim. Wait a minute. He just he's losing his mind right now. Oh my God.
Wani, send that to
Yes,
me. I'm gonna
No.
put
put
it
it
in
in
a
the
jumper or put
yeah,
it in
put it in
jumbotron.
yeah,
Money.
put it or put it in the
He got the
chat.
money.
He got the money, Miss
It's
Stacy.
very simple.
He got all that money. Money talks.
It does. I need to get me some more of it.
We
You may
all
have to be
do.
up late talking about this.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to sleep.
I noticed Tariq just started his space.
Yeah, we're gonna meet on Tariq's space in a bit. That's why we were
He's
ending.
like,
We're
But
we're coming to Tariq's space. I'm gonna go.
Oh,
Black Truth. Go
I
ahead,
want
right
to let
quick.
everybody know the audience. I want to let everybody know how much we appreciate you guys' support and how you guys stay in here with us. And I just wanted to let Wani and the professor know how much I love working with you on the back end. I'm just so happy to be part of this.
Y'all are such a joy. Yeah, and for the audience, same sentiment here. This has been one of the trying, hardest years of my life. 2024. I can't wait till it's over. And y'all have been in my life. Y'all have kept me in the
Say that
road.
again. You're digitized.
Um, I said, y'all been a blessing. This has been maybe the hardest year of my life, and y'all have been such a blessing in my life. I appreciate y'all.
Can I
Yeah,
ask
us
one
having
question,
this
please? I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
us having this space is very important to all of us. So we're just glad that everyone's
Yes.
here. Go ahead, Queen Nini.
I'm sorry. I want to thank you as well, Professor. And I had a question. Is there a schedule? I would like to know your schedule so that I would like to attend these spaces.
Oh,
I just don't. I learn something new every time I'm on here. Like I really need. I love learning more about my people. Like school taught me things, but when I was at home, that's when I really got my knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just thankful that I had family members that actually taught me the truth. But I would like to continue coming to your spaces on a regular basis, Professor.
can you select
so,
notifications of the book?
can we
Can
do what?
Oh
she
yeah, I'm
just
having my notifications. Yes.
okay? So just get the notifications for three of us, and then because we don't know what exact time sometimes because the professor is working.
Okay.
Yeah. So generally, we try to do a space every night. Every once in a while, we'll take a night off. But I'm on Eastern time, so generally it's anywhere between 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
More than likely, like around 9:30 Eastern.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on the West Coast. I'm in California. So okay. And I had another question, Miss On the Spot. What is your name?
Wani
Ronnie. 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 Ronnie.
with a
Okay. I'm
W.
sorry. Wani.
It's
Wally.
Wani with a W.
Wani. Okay.
Wonni. Isn't it cute?
Yes, that
I
is.
said if I had a
No, it's only one N.
if
It's WONI, 4 letters. Wani.
oh one
Wani.
okay. I said if God gives me a daughter, I'm probably gonna name her
Oh,
Wani.
That's cute.
I love
That's
it.
cute. I also want to say one more thing. Everybody prepare for war because war is coming. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar.
Unfortunately,
You know, in March, how Biden is signing off on the war. I've been telling people make sure you got stock up on necessities. You know, make sure you get everything you need. Even women, get some like sanitary napkins too, even if you don't have a period, because that can be used for wound care, like things like that. I learned a few things. Um, over the years. So I can share that next time because I know everybody's trying to get off to go to Tariq's space. But yeah, well, you know, we got to help each other. So yeah, everybody prepare for war. I ain't trying to scare y'all, but just get ready.
I might address that in next space. I kind of figured that last year when my students and I looked at the debt clock. I double dare y'all to look at debt clock. I think it's debtclock.org, the United States debt clock.
Hmm.
You see how much debt we're in?
Mm,
My God, we have no choice but to go to
yeah,
war.
yeah,
There's no choice.
yeah.
Okay.
Black Truth.
well, let's go to war with India.
So after
India's I- India's not going to go to war. They're neutral. That's their
What?
power.
Wait a minute.
Mm.
Can't we start a fight with them?
Oh, because that's what the resources
But
are,
but
isn't it? Is that why?
yeah, they're so smart that they're not nice. They stay
Well,
neutral. China's been picking a fight
let's
with
make
them.
Pakistan and them fight.
That
Then
would
they'll
be
have to
smart.
stay over there and worry about that and stay out of our beeswax.
That was John F. Kennedy's brilliance. Is he was his tactic was to start small wars to keep big ones from happening. Only problem is when he started that Vietnam War, he intended to stop it right
Yeah,
away, but the military industrial complex got in and that money started flowing and what rubber trees started making money. And when he said we're pulling out, the people who run this country said, "Hell no, we're not."
that was a very deadly war. Ugh. Okay.
Yep. We're gonna get Black Truth last words, and we all gonna meet up on Tariq's page.
Do you guys see my hand up?
Hold on, I don't. Who I don't.
Oh, it's
That's
well.
Sister Wilson.
Oh,
She
it's
had
been
her
up for a
hand up.
Well,
while.
sing, I see it.
Well, Welsing, I don't know where you were. You just appeared on my like you
Yeah,
weren't up
yeah,
here.
yeah. Yeah. No, I'm only kidding.
Ah,
No,
I'm dead
very
serious.
quickly, I just wanted to tell you, Professor, I've been trying to tell you this for the last couple of days, but then I just fall asleep and I got the book. So, I'm going to order some more.
Okay.
All right. Fabulous. Everybody's get his book. It's lovely. And I just wanted to tell you that, okay?
That's great.
Oh, I love you, Welsing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and me too. I have the same sentiment as Queenie. This room is a classroom. You cannot get this anywhere. No university can do this. Nothing. So I just appreciate
No,
this room.
but
Believe me, when all else fails, and there are times when this place gives me angst. It's like, you know what? I'm looking forward to this room. You learn something. So I just want to
you,
thank all three of you for that. Actually, just all three of you, and it's very important to me. So it's super important to me, and just I want to wish everybody a beautiful 2025, and I'll leave it at that because I know everybody wants to go to Tariq's room. Thank you so much.
Welsing, you've always been a blessing, and Welsing, you said something powerful. Truth is not allowed to be taught at a university. And that book is part of the reason why I got fired from the college that I have listed. I try not to say their name. I don't want to get them in trouble because they're so small, but it's in the book.
That's okay.
Yep.
It's a brilliant book, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Um, Last words go to Black Truth, unless I miss somebody else.
Salute Professor Allen, Sister Mickey, Sister
Oh, I
Wani.
see. No taxation. She'll have last words. Go ahead, Black Truth.
Just wanted to say salute to everyone. I don't I don't want to speak for too long. I know everyone's trying to get into the other space. I just wanted to put those receipts up. I put them in the jumbotron, the remittance that Sister Wani was talking about.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
from 2022, I believe, $111 billion. And then there's another article there for Nigeria's degree scamming. I think it's 21,600 fake degree holders. They get them from these
degree
Wow.
mill. What do they call them? Degree
You said it
mills.
right. A degree
Yeah, degree
mill.
mills. And so
Black Truth, I gotta ask you, you're so on point and so like coming with receipts. What do you do? Are you an attorney or what do you do for a living?
well,
You're sharp,
I'll
man.
I can discuss that with you with on a private
And
message.
in the
Yes,
back channel,
sir.
got you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm just saying I'm impressed with you because you don't seem very old, but you be
Thank
on
you.
it.
I appreciate that, sir. All right. That's all I have to
Yes,
say.
sir.
Thank you.
All right, brother. No taxation. Oh, I didn't even let up. Go ahead, no taxation. Final words. Can you hear me? No taxation. No taxation going once, going twice. And I just noticed True New down there. Hold on. True New, what's on your mind? Uh-oh, is the space trying to act a fool now? Wanting them, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, yeah, it's acting up. No taxation. I tried to let you up, but it's acting up because it won't let True New through. I'm gonna give True New about 20 more seconds, and then we'll meet up on Tariq's space. True New, if you can hear me, it says connecting, and it's just spinning around in a circle. I'm gonna try to let no taxation up one more time.
And we're gonna try to have the space a little bit earlier tomorrow if we can, too, so
Oh
that
yeah,
more people will have
tomorrow's
time.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't let me. I'm trying to let you up. No taxation. It's not doing nothing. Yep, True News not doing nothing.
Mhm.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow. A True New and No Taxation show up so I can let y'all speak first. I enjoyed y'all. Again, I love y'all, and